Have you ever stared at a 2-mark maths question and just wondered, what exactly do I have to write down to get both of those marks? Well, today, that's what we're doing. We're going to deconstruct a real GCSE question, not just to find the answer, but to get inside an examiner's head and see how to lock down every single point. Because it really all comes down to this, doesn't it? In an exam, it's not always just about getting the right number at the end. It's about proving how you got there. So let's break down the strategy for turning a pretty simple question into 2 absolutely guaranteed marks on your paper. Okay, so first things first, the exam question. Let's get right to it and put the actual problem under the microscope. And remember, this isn't just some random example I made up. This is pulled directly from a recent GCSE paper, so it's the real deal. So here it is. The price of a holiday increases by 20%. This 20% increase adds £240 to the price of the holiday. Work out the price of the holiday before the increase. Seems pretty straightforward, right? But you know how it is in these exams. Every single word is there for a reason. And just to give you a bit more context, this is from the Summer 2023 Pearson Edexcel Paper 1. And you see that little icon? That's the crucial bit. This is a non-calculator paper. That means you've got to do all the work in your head, or more importantly, on the page, which makes showing your method absolutely vital. Right, let's move on to decoding the clues. Before you even start calculating, the first step is to learn to think like an examiner. We're going to pull out the key bits of information and figure out what the question is really giving us to work with. And here it is. When you strip it all back, this is the core of the problem. What do we know for a fact? The question tells us that 20% is exactly the same as £240. And what do we need to find? We need to find 100%. The original price. That's our target. So let's jump into the first way to solve this, method 1, the unitary method. Now, this is probably the most direct and intuitive approach for a lot of people. It's all about finding the value of one single unit, in this case, just 1%. So if we know that 20% is £240, finding 1% is pretty simple, right? We just divide by 20. So £240 divided by 20 gives us £12. Now, this step right here, this is the important one. This single calculation is exactly where you earn your first mark. Yup, that's it. Just writing down 240 divided by 20 is what gets you the M1, which stands for the method mark. By doing that, you've shown the examiner, hey, I have a correct process here. And the best part? Even if you totally mess up the next bit of the calculation, that M1 mark is already in the bag. It's yours. Okay, so we know 1% is £12. The final step is obvious. We just need to scale that up to find the original 100%. So we take our £12, we multiply it by 100, and we get our final answer, £1,200. Simple as that. A complete, logical method. But hang on. What if the unitary method isn't the first thing that pops into your head? No problem at all. In math, there's often more than one path to the right answer, and the official mark schemes are designed to give you credit for any valid logic. An examiner will award that M1 method mark for any of these approaches. You might look at 20% and think, hey, that's just 1/5 of 100%. So you could just multiply 240 by 5. That'll get you the M1. Or maybe you prefer decimals. You see 20%, you think 0.2, so you work out 240 divided by 0.2. That's another M1. Or if you're an algebra person, you could set up a little equation, 0.2x equals 240. And guess what? All 3 are perfectly valid ways to get that crucial first mark. So you see, it doesn't really matter which way you go. Whether you use the unitary method, fractions, decimals, or a bit of algebra, every single one of those correct paths leads to the exact same destination. So let's see that final answer. The original price of the holiday, before that 20% increase was added on, was £1,200. And getting that correct final answer, that's what lands you the second mark. It's called the A1, or the accuracy mark. You can think of the A as standing for answer, or accuracy. But remember, this one is linked to the first mark. You can only get the A1 if you've already shown a correct method to get the M1. So, by showing a valid first step and then getting to the correct final answer of £1,200, you have successfully locked in both marks. Job done, full marks. So, here's a final thought for you. We've looked at a few different ways to solve this. Finding 1%, scaling up by 5, using decimals, setting up an equation. I want you to think which one feels the most natural to you. Which one would be your automatic go-to method when you're under exam pressure? Because knowing your own strategy is half the battle.